afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The convener, I greet you. I would like to stand on all existing protocols and go straight to my paper. I'll be speaking to the paper, and hopefully we'll be able to use the time effectively, God helping us. The topic before me is building a smart mega city, the evolution and opportunities in the Lagos properties scape. Lagos State stands as a dynamic and rapidly growing urban environment, and the vision to transform it into a smart megacity is not only ambitious but necessary. As the city scales new heights of growth, it faces challenges around land administration, property taxation, infrastructure, and sustainable development. To actualize this transformation, Lagos must focus on optimizing property revenue streams while ensuring an efficient, transparent, and technologically enabled land management system. This paper explores a comprehensive approach to property revenue optimization, examining innovative solutions like the rocket revenue debt auction system, divisional block land titling, urban land auctions, and lease reversion auctions, among others. These initiatives, together with an emphasis on intangible rights, taxation, and robust legal frameworks, will drive Lagos toward realizing its smart city goals. By exploring and exploiting these new revenue opportunities, Lagos can not only fund critical urban infrastructure, but also foster wealth creation and poverty alleviation. The vision for a smart megacity. A smart megacity is founded on the principles of sustainability, efficiency, inclusivity. For Lagos, this vision includes the creation of a digitally enabled property landscape that prioritizes streamlined land administration, transparent taxation, and reduced reliance on middlemen. With urban land comprising approximately 90% of its territory, Lagos has significant potential to develop a smart land and property management system that integrates technology and best practices in urban planning. By embracing digital transformation in property administration, Lagos can ensure equitable access to land, increase property tax compliance, and support sustainable urban development. From what the last speaker has taken us through, Lagos is very rich in bills. Lagos is rich in bills. 17% of the those who are billed make payment. So if you have a 5 million property city, and only 17% of those people are making payments in terms of land use charge, it means you have more bills. You are rich in bills, you are not rich in cash. So one of the things that we are going to look through is turning those bills into instant money, even probably before the end of the year. The Lagos land administration system, like many others in rapidly urbanizing regions, faces numerous challenges that affect its efficiency, transparency, and revenue generation potential. Now, some of the primary issues, I don't want to go through all those evolutionary things that we already have at the back of our mind. Number one thing in land administration in Lagos State is corruption. It is only when we want to lie to ourselves that we will say that corruption is not an issue for us. Most of the structures and infrastructure that we have been taken through in the last couple of minutes is simply saying that Lagos is tired of corruption and Lagos wants to do transparent business. So corruption and bureaucratic inefficiencies actually plague the land administration system in Lagos. Then limited public trust and transparency issues. The public trust is what civil servants manage. But there is a group of people in government that are called the deep state. Now the deep state are those who actually control those who work the system. And the deep state can actually enable public trust to be positive or take public trust into very negative debts. The average Lagosian, as much as he wants to do business with government, is holding back on those revenue. And it is basic figures, 17% compared to 90 or 87 or 83%, sorry. 83% are saying, I'd rather keep my money. I'd rather keep my money. I'd rather keep my money. That is a strong information that the public does not trust what we are doing. The governor said we should be very transparent and speak the truth to ourselves today. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do. So we must ensure that we find a way around improving the public trust, because the more we improve of the public trust, the better people will put money in our hands to work with. Inefficient property taxation, property tax collection, sorry. The land use charge is there. I don't know if 17% is an ideal figure for the Commissioner for Finance. But it's actually a cry for help. When I saw that figure, what came to my mind is that this is a cry for help. 17% is actually serious tax collection problem and challenges. Land title and tenure security issues. Tenure security is basically not there. You can have a CFO today, and an Amonile comes and break your fence and enter, and before you come back from your Christmas holiday, your land has been sold. Tenure guarantees are challenged. Inadequate digitalization and technological integration. Most of the things we have been seeing in the last couple of minutes are trying to tell us that Lagos is trying to do some of these things, is trying to change some of these things and bring everybody into an integrated format. Technology is the best way, and that is what Lagos is doing right now. Land speculation and arbitrage by middlemen. This is a serious matter. And it's been ongoing for several decades, as long as I can remember. People will take land from government, and then they will go and pawn it on the market. You take it cheap or low priced, and then you go and sell it for higher prices. Even we do it in the party environment where, those of our acolytes who work for us, when the governor is leaving or somebody is going, they say, okay, bring. And you begin to sign COOs for them, and some of them even just go to the market and dispense with it. Insufficient integration, interagency collaboration. Within the system itself, you have silos of information that are not connected. And that cost the system a great deal of financial leakages. Inadequate resources and capacity building. Of course, I would like to believe that everything that has been said in the last couple of minutes justifies the fact that Lagos is actually improving capacity to a large extent. Challenges in integrating intangible rights and non-traditional assets. We focus too much on the physical in Lagos State, whereas it is a known fact that the intangible asset actually, has a large chunk of revenue streams that most people overlook. Most companies have their intangible asset like 75%, 70%, while their tangible asset is about 25 to 30%. So we focus too much on the land. Whereas there are other things that are around that land that are intangible. Rights, interests, most of the things that surround the land that give us, that robust revenue streams that we seek, they are in intangible formats. Challenges in integrating intangible rights and non-traditional assets is a serious matter. Public awareness and engagement deficit. It is very, very, how would I say it? Very gladdening to see that Lagos is dovetailing information to the local environment, and hopefully it will go to the world level where people can get information without having to go to Alausa. The easier people can relate with government, the better they can actually bring their revenues into the coffers of the state. So those are the evolutionary things that we see in land administration. We go forward to address these challenges. by saying that Lagos needs a comprehensive reform strategy that includes what we call rocket revenue and property tax debt auction system. What are we saying? You have 83% bills. If land use charge brings in, let's say, 30 billion, and that 30 billion is attributable only to 17%, it means that 83% of what you are supposed to earn is sitting as bills. So what we are saying is that these bills, once you serve it after 90 days, open an auction system and put the bills on the auction and sell it. Now, these are asset-backed bills. And this also goes for vehicles that are also physical assets. So if you sell, somebody has a vehicle and that vehicle is probably 5 years license not renewed. If you put that license on the block and sell it, you will create new streams of economic sectors that will chase the vehicle owners. You will create new economic sectors that will chase the landlord who refuses to pay land use charge. Once the system becomes more effective, financial institutions will also come in. They will take the bills off you, give you your 300 billion naira in revenues, and then, you will also help in ensuring that that person pays. If the person does not pay, after, a couple of months, then the legal system will also help to ensure that that person pays. You are either going to pay easily or you're going to pay in pain. And we want to avoid having to ask people to pay in pain. But where you refuse to pay, Lagos has to be serious if you want to build a smart city that is self-sustaining. Sustainability does not come cheap, sir. Thank you. So the primary focus of rocket revenue and tax debt auction is to turn Lagos State's entire property sector and property tax debts into a viable revenue stream by maximizing efficiency and transparency in all its processes, including the debt collection process. By introducing this competitive online-based auction model, the system aims to increase taxpayer compliance, minimize the need for manual interventions, and reduce delays in tax payments. Additionally, it is expected to boost revenue inflows through innovative investor participation, thereby stabilizing and enhancing the financial capabilities of the state. Overall, the system not only aims to optimize revenue collection, but also intends to create a fair, transparent, and technology-driven process that aligns with the state's vision for fostering accountability and public trust in its financial operations. Lagos State stands at a pivotal moment in its pursuit of enhanced revenue generation, with its urban landscape rapidly expanding and its economy positioned as one of the largest subnational economies in Africa. The need for efficient, innovative, and technology-driven revenue systems has never been more urgent. This system outlines a comprehensive platform to transform the state's receivables into lucrative investment vehicles while enhancing transparency, efficiency, and accountability. A robust governance framework that will instill public confidence while generating additional revenue for Lagos State. The issue of public trust and participation strategies, is also very, very important for us to break. Public trust is a critical aspect of civil governance. It is critical to the success of the system, which prides itself as a public interest and service-centric system. The suggestion is to win back public trust, which is valid, but needs a more practical, actionable plan. Government across board needs to gain back the measure of trust reposed in it by the public in order to have a collaborative socioeconomic progression and buy-in from the public. Some of the strategies that could enhance transparency and public trust, they are quite a bit. Regular reporting and open data initiatives, public land register. The last speaker spoke extensively on having that register. Even the representative of the Honorable Minister for Finance also spoke about the land register. Independent audits. Having independent audits is pretty pretty good. We've been doing land allocations all through the decades, since 1978. But has any governor in Nigeria, and I would like to see Lagos State do this, conduct an audit of all the allocations you have done? Who would spend money and not, be careful to know how much did I spend at the end of the day? Am I making profit or am I losing money? We need to, audit the allocations that we have done. And this will go a long way to actually increase public trust in government. Community engagement and public feedback, the last speaker spoke extensively on that. Digital monitoring system. These are things that has been discussed, so I'll just skip them. The trust deficit between the Lagos State government and its citizens is a major factor in low tax compliance. Lagosians perceive the land allocation process as corrupt, feeding into a broader skepticism about government activities. In the words of that Nobel laureate in economics, Joseph Stiglitz, he says, and I quote, "Transparency breeds in legitimacy. With legitimacy comes compliance." The next opportunity that we would like to bring to the table is incorporation of non-tangible assets and new revenue sources into the tax net. The current tax drive of the Lagos State government as it relates to property focuses heavily on tangible property revenue drive and tax debts recovery. This could be expanded to include non-tangible, or what we call intangible assets, and non-related property-dependent taxes. And this include beachfronts. Beachfronts. There is this belief that the federal government owns 200 meters of the beachfront, or the lands beside our shorelines. Please, let us take time to encourage the Legal Services Department in each of the ministries to take a deep look at that statement. Because you will then discover that there is an interface between government and NESRIA. NESRIA is the Nigeria Environmental Safety Regulatory Enforcement Authority or agency. NESRIA is responsible for the coastline, for the management of the coastline. If the coastline is a revenue streaming environment, thank you. If it's a revenue streaming environment for government, government will not allow the water to come in and destroy communities. There is a lot, and I can tell you is in trillions of naira, that is available on the Lagos coastline. Right now, you see pockets of entrepreneurs trying to, make some economy of that environment. But if government takes a deliberate interest in what is going on, you will be able to bring in a lot of revenue streams from what we call riparian rights. Riparian rights has quite a lot of money that is, embedded within it. Okay? So the right to use licenses, those are also areas which the Lagos State government needs to explore. Views, property views, and air rights taxation. We don't do that in Lagos State. Somebody is in a high-rise environment. The view is what people pay for. Do you know why is the 10th floor? Why is it, very valuable? It's because of the view. So there has to be a new property tax system that actually captures those intangible aspects of the wealth of Lagos and derive revenue streams from them. Delinquent car licensing taxes, I've spoken about that. So I'll go to taxation of industrial assets and utility installations. There's quite a lot that can be done from, taxing industrial assets. Industrial assets are not necessarily the factories that you see. There are, quite a lot of industrial assets that are not taxed. You have electrical distribution lines and transformer bases, telecommunication towers, gas pipelines, factories and industrial installations, etc. Performance monitoring and incentivization model. My time is fast spent. I'll just try and, go through some of the things that are here. Now, you have the debt servicing and secondary market creation. That is going to work effectively with the debt auction model, where all your bills are auctioned off. You get your money instantly without necessarily waiting and coupling last year to 2 years ago and next year. Tax debt reinvestment schemes too, we need to begin to consider that. Legislative backing and case law considerations. There are a lot of things that has changed. A lot of things has been changed. There are decisions of the Supreme Court that has put money in the pocket of Lagos State. But all that we are been doing is because we do not have, everybody is still standing in silos. There are a lot of legislative backing that, ought to support revenue generation and has been done. And all we need to do is to look for those case laws and apply them into our revenue generation effort. Integration with broader economic development plans. I will leave that because it's quite extensive. Transition from raw land market to developed land market. Most of the times, Lagos State land use charge does not levy taxes on land. Land is a major urban development deteriorative entity when it is not built, when it is not planned. You have vacant parcels of land that are just lying there. Land banking on the private sector side is strictly bushes. So if you tax those bushes, you will discover that, there will be more, how would I call it? There will be sporadic, more push to develop those environments. It's quite important that we begin to do taxation on vacant parcels of land. Even vacant buildings too has revenue streams that we can stream in. Okay, the key action points here, land development auctions. Instead of dealing with the estate development schemes that we do, why don't we put the land on the auction site and let all Lagosians go and bid for land? Because you see there is a wide gap for arbitrage. And that arbitrage, somebody just becomes an instant billionaire because he has been given an allocation. Whereas you can put these land parcels, instead of doing direct allocations, put everything you want to allocate on a land auction site and let people go there and bid for land. There is no reason and no need for us to keep pretending, that people don't have money and all that. The important thing is that anybody that is buying land is not because he's hungry. It is because he has money somewhere and he wants to invest the money. So let us, find them a conduit that helps them put the money in the pockets of government. So PPP is a major issue here, and I'm sure Lagos is doing it. Competitive pricing, will come when we are on the auctioning block. Now, there is something that I would like to mention before I, go and sit on my seat. It is called lease reversion auctions. Now, everybody knows that when you get a land certificate of occupancy, you have a 99-year leasehold. In 1978, when C of O's started till today, is 46 years gone. Now, there are people who have 10 years expired, 20 years expired, 46 years expired. But on that certificate, you still have 99 years. So it's when you look at the date that you know, okay, he has 64 years to go. He has 72 years to go. You can actually sell the reversionary interest on C of O's. You can also call those who own C of O's to come and recalibrate their leases by buying the 25 years that has expired and putting their lease into proper 99-year bracket. So these opportunities are there. Lagos, can actually sell the options if the owner of the land, the house that holds the C of O, is not interested. You can put the reversionary interest on the market, especially for commercial entities, industrial entities. They have the funds and they will put it behind it because you are actually helping them to improve the value that they hold in land. So why don't you turn that into money? Or do you want to wait for 99 years? Do you want to wait for 99 years before you bring in more money? You can actually bring in more money today. And this does not really need extensive legislation. All it needs is, what's it called? The governor's assent to say, look, let us do this. And, that will be it. Because he is the one in whom land is vested. So there are quite a lot of opportunities that we can look at. Hopefully, maybe in the post-summit, closer units, we'll be able to do quite a lot more. Thank you so much for listening.